A major weather system is affecting extensive parts of the mainland, including the capital Beijing, bringing along sandstorms, blizzards, and thunderstorms. In Hong Kong, the Consumer Council receives 22 complaints after some concertgoers who attended British rock band Coldplay's performances had their stage view partially blocked. And Secretary for Development Bernadette Linn is optimistic about the response from developers for the tendering of 2 projects within the Northern Metropolis, despite the ongoing US-China trade war. Good evening. You are now watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. A major weather system is causing chaos across mainland, with violent winds, blizzards, and sandstorms affecting multiple regions simultaneously. Gale force winds are expected to affect over half of the country's provinces within the next 2 days. Jeremy Zhu has more details.
According to mainland weather officials, extreme weather warnings were seen in most of the country's regions. The capital, Beijing, has issued an orange wind alert, its second highest warning, with the city now experiencing peak wind speeds. Gusts of 9 to 11 levels are battering plain areas, while mountainous regions face winds exceeding level 14. Around 800 trees had been toppled citywide, some falling onto power lines and vehicles. Authorities report most incidents have been cleared, with no casualties currently reported. The severe weather has caused transportation disruptions. Multiple train services have been suspended, with the capital's 2 airports canceling a combined nearly 700 flights by early afternoon. Major attraction sites will remain shut for 2 days, and residents are urged to avoid leaving their homes. The extreme conditions extend beyond high winds. Heavy snowstorms are paralyzing parts of Heilongjiang, Hebei, and Inner Mongolia, where authorities have implemented traffic controls after vehicles became stranded on highways. Meanwhile, a separate sandstorm system has engulfed Gansu, Ningxia, and Shaanxi, reducing visibility to dangerous levels and creating hazardous driving conditions. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
The Consumer Council has received over 100 complaints regarding the Coldplay concert held at the Kai Tak Sports Park, with 22 concerning seats with obstructed view. One frustrated viewer complained that he only found out his seat had restricted views when receiving the tickets, accusing ticketing platform CityLine of providing insufficient information. Jeremy Zhu reports.
Footage provided by concertgoer Wang shows half of his view blocked by the side of the stage and backstage equipment. He bought 2 tickets for $2,099 each for last night's show through CityLine last month. It was only upon receiving the physical tickets that he noticed the words "seat with restricted view" printed in the bottom corner.
由我喺 shopping cart 去到之後嘅order confirmation 啊。
Speaking to iCable News, Wang said that at no point throughout the purchasing and checkout process was it mentioned that the selected seats had a restricted view. He added that the official seating plan only displayed colored blocks without providing enough information, leaving him to imagine where he might be sitting. Responding to the ticket holder's complaint, CityLine denied system error and said the purchased seats were indeed in the restricted view area, adding that their system would not show relevant information during checkout. In regard to the complaints, the Consumer Council emphasized that seat visibility impacts the concert experience and ticket choices, urging organizers and platforms to ensure transparency by displaying such details before purchase. Failing to do so may count as a misleading omission. It also reminded consumers that online ticket purchases form a contract at the website stage, and platforms not disclosing restricted views information online could have breached this contract, enabling buyers to seek compensation. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
The highest bidder wins rule may no longer be the only approach for tenders in the 3 pilot areas of the Northern Metropolis. As Secretary for Development Bernadette Linn said, the government will not rule out using a 2-envelope approach for bidding. The government previously indicated that the 3 areas, namely the Hongshui-Q-Ha-2 New Development Area, the Fanli North New Development Area, and the Sentin Technopole, will be tendered out through traditional bidding, in which the highest bidder wins the tender. However, the approach may be changed in the following tendering. Taking to the airwaves, Lin said they received suggestions that the government should not solely consider the price because some developers may have better experience in specific projects. For now, we have not decided yet, but if we use a two-envelope approach, the assessments will be more complex and require more time, Lin added. With some developers expressing concern that they might not complete the projects within the expected 6 to 7 years under the unstable economic environment. The development minister said the government needs to strike a balance as they want to accelerate the construction of the Northern Metropolis. Lin also revealed that 60% of the expressions of interest came from local enterprises, while 40% were submitted by mainland companies. The festive atmosphere at the city's own version of the Thai festival of Songkran this afternoon was spoiled after a thunderstorm warning forced the water fight activity to suspend 30 minutes after it started. Kicking off at 2 p.m., the water splashing with electronic music festival welcomed many citizens who were heavily armed and ready to get themselves wet. However, the excitement in the basketball courts at Carpenter Road Park in Kowloon City was cut short when organizers announced a suspicion on site, saying a thunderstorm warning was in force. The observatory issued a warning shortly before 2:30 p.m. and extended it until the evening, expecting a few squally thunderstorms in the city. This participant was disappointed that the event did not take place properly in the last 2 years, and it was suspended, spoiling the festive atmosphere. This man said he only had fun for 15 minutes and wasn't dripping wet, so he was let down. This boy said the rain could make the water fights more fun because he could use bottles to collect rainwater directly. Police Commissioner Joe Chow has reviewed details about Smart View, the force's crime hotspot surveillance camera scheme, including potential plans to integrate other government department cameras into the police system. Jeremy Zhu tells us more.
The initiative builds on Chow's pledge to advance smart policing when he took office earlier this month. Speaking exclusively to iCable News, Chow confirmed the 615 cameras installed last year helped solve 122 crimes by year-end, with cases rising to 226 3 months later, calling the results encouraging. Smart CCTV systems will hopefully enhance community safety while optimizing manpower, Chow said. The force aims to install 6,000 to 7,000 cameras by 2027 under Smart View. Chow acknowledged the final number requires review, noting potential integration with existing government surveillance to avoid duplication. Separately, with nearly half of last year's 94,000 crimes involving fraud, Chow admitted current anti-scam measures remain insufficient. He said the force will deepen collaboration with banks to disrupt criminal networks while promoting public use of tools like the Scam Meter Plus app. Authorities will also keep an eye on new types of scams and inform residents. Addressing budget constraints, Chow said as the largest government department, the police would streamline operations and adjust staffing in line with fiscal conditions, though no specific reduction targets have been set. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Resigned non-permanent judge of the Court of Final Appeal Robert French said the role of foreign judges had become increasingly anachronistic and suggested there may be a future role for them as part of an international commercial court in Hong Kong. Beth Leung reports.
In a statement on Friday, the Australian judge said he respected Hong Kong and the integrity and independence of the remaining foreign judges, but that the role of overseas judges had become more and more obsolete and arguably cosmetic. He suggested foreign judges may have their roles in the future as part of an international commercial court because Hong Kong is the only part of China that can appoint foreign judges to its courts. He also rejected the proposition that foreign judges serving on the apex court are somehow complicit in how the government applied the national security law passed in 2020. In response to media inquiries about French's statement, the judiciary noted they have no further comments in addition to the government's statement issued yesterday. In the statement, the administration hailed the long-time presence of overseas justices taking part in hearings of the top court, saying it has been conducive in the international legal environment and the development of the jurisprudence of common law in the city, adding that it will fully support the judiciary in its continuous efforts in appoint and retain foreign non-permanent judges in the future, and will endeavor to capitalize on the common law system, upholding the rule of law in Hong Kong. French's term was originally set to end in May next year. He was the 6th foreign judge to leave the apex court since last year. Bernadette Linn, Cable News.
U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war with China has taken a toll on American consumer sentiment and fueled anxiety over possible job losses and rising inflation. The White House is in damage control mode, asking Americans to trust Trump's policies.
Look, I think there's a great optimism in this economy, great optimism for the American people, a lot of reason for people to feel optimistic. The president is, as I just said, trying to renegotiate the global trade agenda that has ripped off the American people for far too long. As he said, this is going to be a period of transition. He wants consumers to trust in him, and they should trust in him. Look,
However, Leavitt did not have a specific answer when reporters asked her why Trump was not calling his Chinese counterpart, as he had always highlighted his good relations with President Xi Jinping.
China continues to retaliate. It's not good for China. The United States of America is the strongest, best economy in the world, as evidenced by the more than 75 countries who have called the administration immediately to cut good deals. So the president wants to do what's right for the American people. He wants to see fair trade practices around the globe, and that's his intention and his goal.
Leavitt had no comment when asked if Trump was waiting for China to make the first move.
I'm not going to comment on communications that are happening or may not be happening, or either way. We'll leave it to our national security team to get these discussions underway.
Onto the weather now. A cold front moving across the coastal areas of Guangdong will see the mercury drop to 17 degrees tomorrow. Visibility will be relatively low in the morning, with sunny intervals later in the day. It will be windy, but mainly fine and dry in the following couple of days. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Evan Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.